Good morning, everyone. Welcome once again. It's a Friday morning, and welcome to LinkedIn Live Show, Career Success Show with Adrian and Yen. Good morning, Yen. How are you?
I'm so happy it's Friday. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday. This is we're into the final stretch of the last quarter of the month of the
What
year.
happened to September?
Yeah, you must ask Green Day.
It came, it waved, and it went off.
Yeah, so Green Day is very happy because September's ended. Go wake Green Day up. But the amazing thing is that we are going to the final stretch. And as we go into the final stretch, some of us have already gotten our appraisals done.
Yeah.
And it's
Performance review season.
performance review season.
And it's just a push to the end. If your fiscal year is following the calendar year, then we're in Q4.
Yeah, and it's Christmas is around the corner. Look at the bright side, and I'm sure many of us have booked our vacations already. For those of you who
I haven't.
Okay.
That's because you're going away for your holiday.
I'm going away.
So I am going to hold down the fort.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Actually, that's not the reason. But
But for those of you who may not be familiar with us, my name is Adrian. I'm the CEO and founder of Career Agility International, and Yen is our executive director and co-founder. And together we are Team Career Agility. We help individuals like yourself to achieve career success that is sustainable and rewarding through career clarity. And if you want to hear more of our words of wisdom, you can actually log into Spotify under the Career Strategists and subscribe, because we have a whole repository of all our 60 plus
episodes
are all in there.
Yeah, I mean, you might get tired of our voices at some point, but it's still
What?
the fact
They
that
get tired of our voices?
the fact that it's there in a repository that you can access. Please have a listen. You can also play it on double speed so that we sound like chipmunks.
Yeah, and there are lots of different topics that we believe are relevant to your career. So yeah, let me ask you a question. Why are we always get this question, Adrian and Yen, why are you letting all the secrets out to let people know?
Yeah, we don't give out all the secrets. Actually, that's not true. We give out generic advice,
which is really useful and
the difference here
practical.
is that I think the secret sauce is in the contextualization, because everyone is unique, everyone is different, and they have all sorts of issues.
Yeah.
And they come to us with different backgrounds,
Yep.
and with different mental blockages, and with, of course, different characters that make up their corporate jungle. So like for example, Adrian, if I were to just tell you, oh, you have a desire to accelerate your career, you should network.
Yeah,
Duh.
The way to get rich is to buy stocks, buy low, sell high. It's like what stocks and what, right? So we want to share the basic principles with you. For many of you, you can probably just take it and run, and we're very happy with that, because we want you all to succeed.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you have challenges in applications, or if your situation is particularly tricky, then come to us. We can help, like what Yen said, contextualize it, and it's the application where we are most value added in. So
Yeah, and I think a lot of our clients appreciate having us on their team. Just having a safe place where you can be openly vulnerable and you can tell it like it is, and no one's going to judge. Because we know that we cannot be, we need to be politically correct in our daily interactions, which is freaking tiring if you ask me. So it's kind of nice to have a safe place to kind of unload and to bounce ideas without being judged.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one that makes a massive difference.
And what I think is really interesting as well is, when some of our clients, they come, they share their situation with us, and they ask us for our opinion. And when we give our opinion, and they say, I was thinking the same thing too,
Yeah.
And then, but the validation that they're not
helps.
alone. So it's not like, hey, I knew the answer already, but getting the validation sometimes gives them a lot of clarity and confidence to move forward. So we consider us like your career therapists.
I think the biggest difference, two in one.
Yeah.
There aren't many coaches out there that would give you different perspectives. So Adrian's the strategic one with the ideation. Not to say that I don't, but in general, that's where his strengths are. And I'm the one that drives all the activities and the actions.
Yeah. And she has a very nice different perspective on issues, especially office dynamics, managing the bosses.
So we're gonna give you, I think, the best of I guess two different brains, and always 2 plus 2 equals 5. So people appreciate that, having two coaches in one program, and it gives them. I think we're the only one in this
You're
world.
you're the only one in the entire universe.
Because
who do this.
I don't think many coaches share.
Many coaching agencies, or coaches, they are very individualistic. So you only
Individualized.
have one.
One
But in our case,
perspective.
we have two, and we don't always agree. But where we don't agree is where you get the best value, because you got two very powerful different points of view.
Yeah.
Not unusual.
Okay, enough selling.
But that's why one thing that's why that came along. That's why this topic came along. I have always been. I mean, for me, it's more career strategy. When it comes to managing bosses, okay, I must confess, I've never had that much of a natural flair when it comes to managing bosses. That's why I became an entrepreneur. So people have to manage me.
I had a different issue. Not that I couldn't manage them, but that I had too much healthy disrespect. Healthy, meaning that I wasn't rude or anything. It's just that I had a different perspective, because I look at them like human beings who need help. So it's a mental model, I suppose.
And for me, one of the biggest things I always had a bugbear about is talking to senior folks, especially if it's looking like this old guy, this Nicolas Cage budget Nicolas Cage lookalike guy on the screen right now. For those of us on Spotify,
He looks nothing like Nicolas Cage.
Okay, never mind. Anyway. Oh no, not Nick. Okay, never mind.
He looks like that guy, like Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte, I mean, not Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
Nick Nolte, sorry.
yeah.
So so I always had this fear of talking to a senior leader.
Older, you mean
Older senior leader.
Ages.
Especially when I was younger. Okay, an older senior leader, especially if he's not Singaporean, if he's a white guy. Okay. Or even not being racist here, but nationalist, but if it's a Japanese or Korean, where it's not of my culture, I tend to get a bit nervous.
We all should. And I think that nerve, it just helps us to be a little bit more aware and read the room a lot more effectively. So we need to harness that nerve. So don't feel bad that you're feeling a bit more apprehensive about a particularly powerful individual that you're going to be presenting to. Because it is natural. I mean, if stage fright is one such form of apprehension. But what do? You kind of harness that energy and focus on over preparing, so that you have all the details on you, and you just do it.
That's why today we want to talk about how to talk to senior management, and it's particularly salient, especially if you're early in your career. Then you do feel a bit of that distance and nervousness. But more importantly, it's an important skill to have, isn't it?
I think it's just an awareness.
Yeah, but being able to communicate well with senior leaders.
Being able to communicate well, full stop.
Yeah. But actually, with senior leaders, it's like these are the guys who determine your career trajectory.
Yeah, I guess I'm just look for the common denominator here. Let's just treat everyone the same.
Yeah.
Focusing instead on the agenda at hand, and I think you're gonna be okay.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about 5 ways you can be better in your communications with senior management, because on their side now they might operate on a different operating system as you, because they have different agendas and different. Okay. So
Okay, you make it sound as if they're on a different frequency entirely.
sometimes they are, especially if there's a gap in terms of
Age.
Okay. So
Boomer.
yeah, but the funny thing is this: I have a confession here. When I was in my younger days, I used to be I used to face the CEO client with a lot of trepidation.
Yes, of course. Normal.
Yeah,
So did I. Yes.
Yeah, and it didn't help that when I was in my even up to my late 30s, as being Asians, we look very young.
You the one in university who would sit with the professors at their table and speak with them. So it's amazing that I don't believe you when you say that you were apprehensive about meeting senior people. I don't believe you.
Okay lah,
because
I
you're the
was.
kind that can fake it, and you're just gonna brazen through it
No,
anyway.
okay lah. Yes and no, but
So I like, whatever.
So what I used that's why I call it fake it till you make it. So what I used to do is I used to overdress. I used to power dress. You had a jacket. I used to get this old uncle type of glasses. The problem was with me is that when I speak to, say, the chairman of the board of a MNC, multinational company, And you know, and I walk into the room, even though I'm like 38, he asks me, "Oh, when do you just graduate from university?" Because we Chinese guys
Because
look so
no, it's
young.
not just that. When you power dressed, you look like a kid wearing
Yeah.
his dad's clothes.
So it was like, so the credibility is like, so I have to start adapting
It's a
different types
posture.
of postures. So we want to share that with you today, okay? And it's important because when you move into senior level roles, okay, you really need to have a particular strategy for communication. So let's share with you.
You need to punch above your weight.
Yes. And but before we go there, I want to do a quick commercial advertisement. Okay, haha. For those of you who may not know, what we've done is, and this anyway, it's not really a commercial. We have created a salary app. Okay, for online. You can just go to our website over here. Hold on, let me just get it's careeragility.org/salary calculator.
I think you need to put the 3 W's in the front.
I think so too.
Which has been cut off.
Fact,
Which
okay,
has
let me
been cut
cut
off.
off. Yeah,
Read
so,
it out loud. www.careeragility.org/salary calculator.
Yeah, so if you it's an app and it's free, so you can just go online and if when a headhunter calls you up and asks you, hey, what's your last round salary? And then you don't know whether to talk about the base, the benefits, you know, the variable bonuses, the confirmed bonuses, the transport allowances. So what you do, you just key in all the information. And by the way, we don't keep the information, okay? Key in all the information in there and click calculate, and a text will be generated where you can just copy and paste. And it's in a format that any and every headhunter worth his salt is able to pick it up and run with it. Okay, so
It's a little bell and whistle addition to our suite of tools. Again, it's not going to make or break your deal. It's not like some super duper secret thing. And more importantly, we don't take the data from there. But as a calculator, one of the things that I found particularly useful for our clients is the fact that it calculates net present value. So
of
that
your, of your entire career.
of your entire career and your potential earnings. So you know exactly how much insurance you need to buy.
That's also true. That's also true. So go on to www.careeragility.org/salary calculator and just have a go at it, okay? And share it with your friends and everything. As I said, we don't trap
We just want to make life easy for you.
yeah, we don't trap your personal data. You just do it and you use it as often as you want, okay? So, and it's free. So go for it. So, back to where
to
we
the
were.
scheduled
Okay, back to our scheduled episode. Okay.
Programming.
Now, I think one of the first things when you are talking to senior leaders is you need to go prepared. Come prepared.
You need to be prepared to the nth degree
Yeah.
because you have to start thinking about the types of questions you might get asked. So you don't just need to know the core information, you need to know the peripheral information as well.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to explain your derivation. So how do you come to your conclusion?
Yeah.
How did you derive your recommendation? Very, very important in making sure that they do not see you as a fluffy piece of decoration.
Yeah.
You know,
It's true.
it's damaging if you get asked a question like, okay, so
Why?
what were the numbers last quarter?
Yeah.
And you don't know. Let me get back to you.
Yeah.
And if you do that often enough, they're not going to want to promote you. So,
So what-
having the data on your
Yeah.
fingertips is really important.
So one of the things that we talk about when we say how to talk to senior management, it's not all about, hey, over coffee, over drinks. We're talking about a formal conversation, where especially when there is an ask.
Yes.
You want to get something out of senior management. You want to get a new project going. You need resources.
Or you need approval for certain budgets, or
Yeah.
you need the bid, or it's
So you have to come prepared. I
You
like
have
what you
to be
just said.
prepared.
I like what you just said. There's no such thing as under preparing or over. No, there's no such thing as over preparing.
yeah, just over prepare anyway because it's going to help you in your business nonetheless. So sometimes if you've ever encountered a micromanager, okay, the reason they micro is because they need the data or they need to know what's going on
Yeah.
at any one time because at the moment they get asked what happened with company customer ABC, they have the information, or where are we in the process of managing this bid.
Yeah.
You need to know, say, oh,
Yeah.
the bid is approved on this time, and then the customer's going to make a decision, etc. So this is, having the data at your fingertips is super important
Yeah.
and helpful.
Yeah, and if you are not the sort to be able to memorize reams and reams of data in your head, okay,
Reams. Who uses that?
Reams. Okay, yeah. Okay, terabytes of data.
Terabytes, yeah.
You can just put it on a file. One thing I like is the
Our
previous
technology today.
no the previous President Trump. Okay, his press secretary Kayleigh McEnany. I like her. She's so organized.
She had a big folder.
She had a
with
folder of
tabs.
everything was all tabbed out,
Yeah.
and she at the press conference they would pull her out and I think she would just give the information, and that was amazing. She was one of the best
Press secretaries.
that Trump ever had. Not a really tough pool to choose from in the first place, but she was really really good. Why? Because she came prepared, and
Yeah.
not only do you have to come prepared with the data, you got to come prepared with certain questions they might ask.
Yeah.
Like why, what, how. And the other thing you might want to come prepared with as well is with a point of view.
Yeah.
It's because
An opinion. Yeah.
especially if you have to justify why it is.
Yep.
And the data might be all there, but what the senior management wants to hear is your point of view, correctly or incorrectly, and the rationale and the reasoning. And if it is sound, I can assure you that you will come across very professional.
Especially because senior management is looking at you as the person on the ground who would have information at real time, and information that feedback. So this is information that's not readily available in data form.
Yeah.
It be feedback, it be opinions from your partners, your channel, your customers. And so because you are on the ground, you should be able to give that sort of input and insights to senior management, which is valued because
And I
senior
like what you
management
said,
is like 300 meters above ground. They don't see it.
And I like what you just said, because if you look at the flow of information, disparate information gathers up to be knowledge, on-the-ground knowledge. Okay, when you gather, it becomes data. Data, when you sort it out and you apply your experience, becomes knowledge. And they don't have that knowledge, on-the-ground knowledge, right? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if data shows that something's happening, but the groundswell is saying something else, then how do you find that
And
sweet spot
especially if
between
you
the two?
have a point which is contentious or is counterintuitive.
Exactly.
So you really need to
or
come prepared.
customized to your specific market.
So what happens if I'm the senior leader and you're coming to me for a discussion and you come unprepared without the information? How do you think I would view you?
I'd be a non-issue. I'd be another order taker, message center. I mean, occasionally that's required. But that you would view me as somebody who's not a value-add member. So then when it comes time for promotion or for cost cutting, they go, oh yeah, I can do without this person because this person doesn't really add value. And he go, but how can they do that? I've been here for 10 years. That's because you didn't really add intellectual value, or you didn't add extra value by giving them the information that you maybe had but didn't share. So if the point is that you want to come across as someone who helps the organization think about what's going to happen. And I think the biggest difference that you can add value in is your knowledge of your customer and your market. So in general, a lot of organizations would have a global sort of vision and a global sort of idea of how something should be executed. Then your input would be very customized according to your market, your country, or the area that you look after.
So that's what they're paying you for. Okay,
Exactly.
so come prepared, and bottom line, if you come unprepared, you look silly.
Come over prepared.
Yeah, you could end up looking silly.
But try not to. I have all these things. Come, let me give you
Don't
a
get tied up. Don't
deluge.
get tied up. Let me tell you a funny story. So in the old days, okay,
I can
when
imagine an
Apple,
older guy coming in and saying, hey boss, I've got all these things.
according to the fourth report on page 36, subparagraph 2B, it says, I'll be impressed if you did that actually.
That's the problem. If I'm senior management, I'll go, why can't you give me a summary?
Yeah. So when Steve Jobs was still alive, okay, people at Apple apparently used to be terrified of him because when you get into a lift with him, okay, he will just ask you, or if you talk to him, he's got so many questions. So people just get prepared when they're with him. Even when they get into lift with him, they're prepared to talk. So they actually prepare just for the lift encounter.
Gosh,
and the other interesting
so
thing
stressful.
is that if they send an email to him,
it's got to be within one screen length.
and
Any
if he
longer
doesn't
and-
understand it, he'll reply you with a question mark.
Yeah.
And you get a question mark of doom. So make sure you come prepared.
I mean, it is stressful, but what we're also saying that is if you do your research and you prepare, then the added preparation moving forward will not be as hard.
Yeah.
But if you don't do any preparation, and then when you have to meet the boss, and then you're studying at the last hour, I sound like a mom, don't I?
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
True. So another way you can do it as well is if you have a big presentation with your bosses, whatever it is, you're nervous, come talk to us. We have some pro tips and everything to share with you. And we've done it before. And I think that the second thing which you really need to think about as well is to think before speaking.
Don't put your mouth in it, man. Sorry, don't put your foot in your mouth.
Don't put your mouth in it. No, seriously, sometimes you just go and
Blank.
just go on a cup or on a fly.
But we black out. It's sometimes I can't think before I talk.
I know.
I just talk.
So the basic,
And there's no filter between brain and mouth.
the basic thinking behind it. Basically, behind it is if you have nothing to say, okay, just keep quiet.
Yeah, but if senior management says, so Adrian, what are these quarters numbers looking like?
Yeah, that's why it's important to come prepared in the first
Crickets.
place. But but you don't have to answer on the spot. Pause a while, calculate, and think before you respond. Okay, don't just say the first thing. Silence is okay, especially if it is a thoughtful silence. Not like
Well,
in your brain you're just thinking of
I don't think you can be silent for more than 5 seconds.
Yeah, correct. So
5 seconds is really long.
and if you don't know the information, you can just say
I'll come back to you.
I'll come back to you. I need to get the right
Which is still
information.
not great, but
Yeah.
better than
Yeah.
crickets.
I think
And don't fill in the thing.
sometimes I think the biggest
fluffy information.
the biggest thing that the biggest boo boo that happens a lot of times is when individuals get nervous and then they shoot their mouth off.
Who knows?
Yeah, so
Who knows?
I've seen it happen before when you get nervous and
And they just go around the tree.
yeah.
Around and around and around.
And the worst thing is they say something that they should not have said. And so the whole
Yeah.
idea is this: think before speaking, because you want to. At the end of it, you want to not look stupid for sure.
That's true.
Okay, but B, you want to look smart, and you want to come across as being intelligent and someone that's a safe pair of hands for them to put the business.
Yeah.
Into.
And we have a lot of clients, super smart individuals, and when we wrote this think before speaking, I in my mind I was just thinking about all our clients who are just like super smart. So they're you imagine, right, all the mental formulas, and then I was like, should I say this? Great, this is an opportunity for me to tell him something about that other thing. And because this is like a skip level, this guy's a +2, so I might want to tell him something about my boss, but should I say it? And it's all happening at the same time, and then because of all of that, you're paralyzed. If you do have that issue, please come talk to us. I'll help you with it.
Think before speaking, and
Easier said than done.
yeah, but it's a skill actually as well. So that actually helps, and I can imagine that if you're an introvert, I think that's even more stressful. Having a meeting with.
It's because you have deep thoughts. You have so much going on. If, when, and, or, and then you've got all the Boolean things happening in your brain.
Yeah, so this I think. I think this is very important as well. The third thing we want to share with you is speak slowly and clearly.
Something that has been fed back to both you and I,
Especially me.
we both get a lot of this. We have a tendency to talk very quickly.
I talk very fast.
Um,
do you remember the Micro Machine Man? Okay,
No, I just remember there was an auctioneer.
There's a guy who's
and I
very
cannot.
fast. Yeah.
I mean, these are people who can rap. The rappers and they're just so good.
The next presentation to senior management, I'm gonna rap like Eminem. Okay,
So that could be fun. Who knows?
yeah, then you get your secretary to do the beatbox in the background.
This sounds very, I guess, just
Basic,
understood,
right?
right?
Basic,
I mean,
right?
it is important not to have the verbal fillers, and this is what happens to a lot of people. Words like actually, basically, and like are one of the biggest culprits. These are the biggest culprits.
You know who I like?
hear it all the time.
You know who I like as a public speaker in Singapore?
Who?
Our Minister for Foreign Affairs, Vivian Balakrishnan. When you see him talk if you see him talk at local
At any,
gathering,
yeah.
it's quite casual and everything. But when he talks at United Nations or he talks
sounds
at
really
interview,
good.
He's so measured in the way it's very statesman
And specific.
stately.
But did you know that there was a old video of him that's circulating when he was really young,
Yeah.
and so I think it's a natural
He's a
talent he
debater.
already had.
He was a
Debaters are also
Yeah.
very fast
correct.
talkers.
So he's a linguistic. He's linguistically.
He's amazing, yeah.
So, but I like the tone which he does. And if you go on YouTube and you just go Google you can't go on YouTube Google. When you go on YouTube and you go search for Mr. Vivian Balakrishna, okay, any interviews is given, you hear the pace and the tone. You get the gravitas coming from him.
Yeah, and
amazing.
globally, I personally really enjoy listening to Obama. In any interview, he is measured. He qualifies his comments. He doesn't have verbal fillers, and we hear it all the time with people who are nervous, and they go actually something something actually something something basically So these are verbal fillers that will doom your presentation.
But one of the things as well for us Singaporeans is that actually, have you noticed that we Singaporeans talk very fast?
We do. I think
And
because
among fellow Singaporeans, we talk this fast, people understand. But unfortunately, when it comes to non-Singaporeans, okay, the speed, not only is our speed faster, but the way.
do you know there was research that indicated that Singaporeans walk faster as well?
No, I'm not surprised.
We-
Except for
there's
people in front of me on the train. I know
it's
people tend to walk particularly
speed.
slowly in front of me. That's
Yeah,
what-
right. You just go to any like the CBD, and everyone there is walking at this, like I don't know, pace of a speed walker.
It's CBD, yeah. But you know when I'm on a park and I'm cycling,
what do you
these
expect?
people are walking so slowly in front of me. It's like, get out of the way, you know. So anyway,
slow down
so-
your speech.
especially if you're a Singaporean speaker, we tend to speak fast. The non-native speakers, especially non-native English speakers like the Japanese, the Europeans, they sometimes have difficulty, especially if it's over Zoom. So if you talk too fast, they may not be able to catch it. And I'm not saying even the clearly understood things like don't speak Singlish. Okay, even if you're speaking standard English like this, and as even as I'm talking to you guys right now, this speed is okay. But if I were to be speaking to a non-native speaker, I would be pacing myself out.
Yeah, and
at
try,
this pace.
but try not to yell at them as if they didn't understand English.
You understand? Comprende? So that's one of the things.
Anyway,
yeah.
slow down. Watch out for your verbal habits. It's okay to pause mid spiel, mid sentence,
Yeah.
just to avoid using verbal fillers and
Yeah.
a lot of the ums and ahs.
Yeah, and in
It's
fact,
okay occasionally to have one or two. Don't shoot yourself, but slow down.
I think that's interesting. We do have some comments here. Abdul Khalid says, "I'm from Malaysia and I can confirm that." Yeah,
I think
that's
Malaysians speak very quickly too. I think it's just the pace, the language paces.
Yeah.
Our dialects are fast. Our Malay is also fast.
Yeah.
Indonesian is fast. Mandarin is fast.
Cantonese is faster.
Cantonese
I
is
cannot think
fast.
Cantonese,
Our
like-
dialects are fast. So
Yeah, so we are fast.
I think yeah.
we process things faster, but and I think
We
that's
also
really
talk very
interesting.
quickly.
And I think it's Joanne says something interesting. Joanne Lam, we might unconsciously interject others as well. So you're right.
We
Sometimes
do
we just
that.
need to sit down.
Adrian interjects me all the time.
No, that's not true. No, it's not. I never do it. So a lot of times we need to be very mindful in speaking slowly and clearly. And I think that's one of the key skills that we really, really need to have. Especially for Singaporeans, okay? Speak slowly. Now,
We're Malaysians.
and Malaysians, be brief and concise. You must understand one thing, that senior leaders, senior managers, their time is their currency.
Yep.
Okay, which is very important. If you have 15 minutes with the CEO, that's quite a lot already. And if
Yeah.
you have like 16 slide presentation,
It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. You got to condense it.
Yeah.
This is the background. This is the ask. This is the situation. This is the background to it. Why I'm doing it. What are your thoughts? Okay, be brief, be concise.
You might also want to over prepare in the sense that if there's a report, you put a summary sheet on the front with salient points in bullets, so that the senior management can quickly get a handle on the situation, and if required, we can flip over into the
Yeah.
deeper parts of the report.
Yeah. So they want to have a high level understanding, and they may not want to see the nitty gritty details.
Yeah.
But if they do, have it on hand.
The thing about the brain space, I guess, of any manager is that there's a lot more that they have to pay attention to. So the bandwidth it's like a traffic jam. and if you think about, the apothecary drawer, there are lots of little drawers, and some drawers are a little bit bigger because those are more important. Why? Because that's the cash flow. Or there's another one for share prices. And so your little itty bitty like storm in a teacup to them. To us it's big, but to them they're like, well, get to the point. So get to the point.
Get to the point. Why do we say that? Number one is, as I said earlier, they don't have much time. Okay, they need to get the big picture fast, followed by the small action steps. The second thing is that if you become circumlocutory and you go round and round and round the bush and everything, around the bush, number one, it shows your state of mind to them.
It shows that you're convoluted as well in the way you think. And maybe that's not healthy.
Yeah. People want someone who's decisive. And a lot of times it's not, what we're talking about today may not just be in terms of speaking and meeting, even in your emails. Some people believe that emails
need to have a lot of details. Or please refer to previous email. No. No, I got no time for that.
Yeah, so that's basically your emails have to be short. They don't have time for that. And the worst thing is you get a question mark from Steve Jobs type of situation. It's like,
I've seen some very detailed emails that were written in such a way that just somehow gets the information through, the kind that has instructions for a program or something, there are lots of details. So bullet points, you can do some formatting to get your point across, but make sure it is concise.
It has to be to the point. As I said earlier, the senior managers, the CEO, so they don't really have that much time. So just keep it short to the point and sweet. And I think the last part about it is that
so easy to say. Be confident, right?
Confident,
Don't tell me how.
Yeah. I think one of my strategies is this, okay? Over the years, I sound so old. Over the years,
Uncle
Adrian says that over the years, where when I was in my 30s, I used to talk to all these senior folks. I used to have a lot of trepidation and nervousness. But over the years, as I grow older, it became easier. So one of the things like what we were saying earlier off air, it helps that when you grow older, it becomes less stressful.
You grow up with the business, and I think it helps if you're a subject matter expert as well.
True.
So if you know what you're talking about, then you're quite confident. It's when we're unprepared. So that's why the first slide was the most important. Of course, there are other things. There are little mental, I guess, strategies that you can employ. But come talk to us because that's different for everybody. So we want to know. I feel like this is the type of advice you need to be confident. I'm kind of like, whoa, how?
Imagine the CEO naked.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work.
No, that's
right?
horrible
That's not going to work.
That's not going to work.
That's not going to work. And so I think that was quite dumb. I think that's a kind of advice
I saw that.
from way back when.
That was silly.
It doesn't make sense.
But
I think the mental model here is to figure out that these people are just as human as you.
Yes.
So while
they put their pants on one leg at a time.
While the comment to envision your audience naked is a stupid one.
Stupid one.
But because being, it's one of the worst dreams to have. Some research that indicate like the worst dreams, scary dreams, is when suddenly you're in front of a crowd and then you're completely naked, right?
That's a vulnerable.
So it's about putting people back to their vulnerable
state. My teeth
state.
falling out.
I have that too.
I have that's my recurring nightmare of teeth falling out, and unfortunately at my age now. My dentist.
Even in your dreams,
endodontist is very rich.
Even in your dreams, I think you need to tell yourself that they have amazing technological advancement in dental care right now.
Yeah,
and you can have fake teeth. No problem.
Yeah, I've been sponsoring my endodontist.
Sorry, folks, we've digressed.
Swiss vacation, okay, Swiss family vacation for the past 5 years, okay. So there's so much money. Anyway, we should have a better dental plan. Anyway,
we don't have any plans.
What dental plan?
So if you need help with mental models on how to feel a little bit more confident, come talk to us. Because everyone's different, and sometimes we need to know where you came from. So we've got clients who are very, very introverted, which is a very different situation. It's not that they're not confident about their work, but that maybe it's a speaking thing, or maybe it's a presentation thing, or maybe it's a physical thing. So we need to unravel a little bit more as to where you are in order to help you with the strategies to build that confidence.
And I think the mental model also, deep down inside, you must understand that CEOs are humans. B, they're under a lot of stress.
They're tired.
And they're little babies who are fighting for their jobs. Because if they screw up, they're going to be booted out
The
quickly.
humiliation is
So-
is amplified.
So they're all people like us, just trying to strive and get along.
And,
okay?
and make a difference. Yeah.
So we're all humans.
Exactly.
Yeah, and with vulnerabilities, fears, and a lot more stresses as well. Okay?
They are stressed. Sometimes we look upstairs and we go, gosh, what do they do? Their life is so cushy. It's so easy to be the CEO. No, it's not.
It's like that old story
No,
about the
it's
duck
not.
on a pond, right?
I don't know. What's that story?
They're so peaceful on top of the surface, but underneath they're
Oh,
paddling
yes.
like mad. It's like
Yes.
pedal.
Yes, that's right.
So they're like ducks. So maybe if you go in and present to them and you think that this is just another human being,
You're gonna be okay.
you're gonna be okay, And once again, if you have any job, career challenges, situations at workplace, or even if you're just wondering what's next for your career, come talk to us. Drop us an email, info@careeragility.org.
Yep. And if you have any questions, please reach out. We're happy to help.
Yeah.
We have career clinics for the one-offs, for the first time, first comers, first timers.
First timers. And
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
My brain's like
And
used up.
if you're not already subscribed to us on
Spotify.
please log in to Spotify now and click and be a subscriber, be a member. Subscription is free, and you have access to all our information as well as our short snippets of career conundrums and career advice.
Yep.
Last month, I updated a very short 8-minute clip on the truth about CVs and why CVs are kind of useless sometimes.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
So
Everyone over focuses on the resume.
yeah, they do, don't they? Why?
I don't know. They think that, first of all, having a great resume will open the door.
It's-
It doesn't.
I think the CV basically is something that they think they can control. So
Unfortunately, the trouble though is that they write it wrong. They write it badly. I'm just going to put it out there that people are positioning themselves wrongly. So
Yes.
a quick tip, guys, the resume is not about where you've been. The resume is what you are. That's the difference.
that's the difference, and that's why we don't believe in paying resume writers
Please
to
don't.
write resumes. Okay.
Yeah.
Come talk to us. Once you understand what you are, who you are, what you can do, the
It's
resume
going to
writes
be a
itself.
lot better.
Yeah.
Right.
So in the meantime,
Have a great
Have a
weekend.
great weekend and take care. Enjoy yourself. Bye.